And now, we've come to the portion of our show where we have to ask, what just happened? We can't believe it either, but let's take a look back at the insanity that was this week and look ahead to what will make us facepalm next week. This is What Just Happened on the Dean Obeidallah Show. Take it away, Dean.
How exciting! I'm Dean Obeidallah. That's the greatest announce ever. It really makes me excited. We're live Friday, January 25th. It's our weekly segment, What Just Happened? We look back at the insanity of the week. We could do a show just on the insanity of today, but we're going to look back for a few days. I'm joined by Angelique Roche. Our friend is back from host of Marvel Voices, sci-fi geek thing, and Bob the Pod. I don't know what you do. You do a lot
I'm just an independent, lovely, concerned political person today.
That's what you do.
That's what I do. I'm a professional nerd.
You are?
Yeah.
It's interesting. And
it's the thing that I do.
For the first time on this show, Michele Laikowski, did I pronounce that kind of cool?
I don't know.
Okay, we just go Michele Laikowski.
That's perfect.
An improviser, singer, producer of the Jenny McCarthy Show on this very network, not this channel. She has a podcast called Never Tell Your Stories and Missing Bedtime with Her Kids Tonight, for which she's eternally grateful. Michele?
Oh, no, it's good.
Welcome to the show, my friend.
Thank you so much for having me.
This is just like the Jenny McCarthy Show.
It's uncanny.
It's exactly. Everything we talk about will be just like. So let's start with the big news. There's a lot of big news. Let's start with the shutdown ending, which I am gleeful about, but right-wing pundits are destroying Trump. And now Trump is getting very upset about it because he just said, literally breaking news, this in no way was a concession. I was taking care of people that were getting hurt by the shutdown. Yeah, you're shut down, you idiot. So because Ann Coulter said Ann Coulter literally tweeted a short time ago, and I don't like Ann Coulter at all, but now he's getting defensive about the whole shutdown. First of all, Tommy Lahren, who's an idiot, said he allowed Nancy Pelosi to walk all over him. And then Ann Coulter said, as a result of the shutdown, that the biggest wimp ever to serve president is no longer George Herbert Walker Bush. It's Trump. So he's getting crushed from Drudge to Breitbart. So, Angelique, what about you? What do you think? Did Nancy Pelosi just eat his lunch? Did she crush him? What happened here?
I mean, look, when you build your own bed and then you lock the door and you kick everybody else out of your house, you got to deal with the consequences. I don't think this has to... It's a prime example of toxic masculinity. I didn't want to start there, but this is... Where
did that come out?
Oh my God, I can't believe toxic masculinity. Because Trump. This statement right here about him saying that he is conceding, because all of a sudden his feelings are now hurt, because there's no way in the world that a president of a full country can be diplomatic about sending people back to work. He can't even allow himself to come from a place of strength because he's done what's best for the American people, because his plan and his tantrum didn't work out. And that is exactly what this is. He's like, well, I meant to do that. That's what he's doing.
Don't call it a shutdown. Don't call it.
You know what I'm saying? I meant for this to come back after 30 days after people lost 2 checks. Right. And they can't pay for their children's medication.
It was just horrible.
Of course I didn't concede. And when I say it's about toxic masculinity, it's because it's not even prioritizing the fact at the end of the day, this is about the fact that it was the right thing to do. To put 800,000 people back to work was the right thing to do. But he cannot get over his own ego. And because there are people that are suddenly calling him a bad guy, that he... At the end of the day, he's got horrible friends. And that's what it breaks down to, because these are the people he supports. They're all going to jail.
Now, Michele, as the co-chair of the Trump 2016 campaign, what is your reaction?
Thank you for recognizing me as such.
You look different, though. You look different in person, but I know
you
actually...
I got a little taller. I think Nancy Pelosi handled it like a mother would. She put a toddler in a corner and said, eat your fucking vegetables.
And that was it, by saying... So, do you think her saying to Trump, no... Speaker of the House for us, no to my house, help end the shutdown?
I think she started before then, but yes. Honestly, I think the shutdown stopped because he realized the Super Bowl wasn't going to be able to happen. And I think somebody said to him, hey, if the Super Bowl doesn't happen, how are we going to kidnap all these women and rape them during that time. But that's not about toxic masculinity at all.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Where's the kidnap women, rape?
Don't you know what?
That's one of the highest times of the year when there's human trafficking.
There
is like a huge, and there's a lot of articles that came out of New Orleans, being from Louisiana. But
you're from Louisiana?
I am.
Okay. But no accent though.
I do. It comes out every once in a while. But one of.
Okay.
Let me get mad enough.
Okay.
But one of the things is that's one of the biggest times of the year that deals with human trafficking is when folks are in town for a Super Bowl or an NBA game. So we're not going to single out just the Super Bowl. The All-Star game is just as bad.
You're right. I'm terrible for just going with
But you know what? You should just go for the NFL.
Right,
Get them at the knees.
That's where I'm starting.
Do you think today LaGuardia Airport, essentially the shutdown there? In fact, the union came out today and apparently is taking credit for this. The union of air traffic controllers said, do we have your attention now? And they sort of did like the on-air announcement, like, everyone, would you look forward? And we have some announcements. So the union is sort of taking credit, like, we sort of did this on purpose, even though we were saying we didn't. And I think perhaps that contributed to the shutdown.
I think I mean, first of all, his friends were starting to turn on him and be like, well, this has gone on too long. Nancy also really did have a big part in that. I don't think her not allowing him in wasn't something that didn't upset him.
Sure, it upset him.
Because that's a woman fucking doing that shit?
Right.
Like, he did not like that.
And I mentioned there were, among a polls yesterday, 70% of Americans, and it's hard to get 70% of Americans to agree on anything, honestly.
In 2019?
Right.
Absolutely.
70% said they don't believe the government should shut down over a border wall. So that means even though people supporting a wall are in there, they're like, don't shut the government down over this. So he was losing even his own people at this point.
Supporters.
They're like, you're hurting us. You're hurting our lives. Yeah. So it's interesting now to see from Drudge to Breitbart's trashing Trump. And he's so defensive that he put out a statement now that at least he said it to some reporter that it wasn't a concession because he gets obsessed with everything going on.
He's also a gaslighter. I mean, that's all he does is change the narrative and turn those tables onto someone else. So, yeah. Oh,
here was his tweet. He just tweeted. This was his tweet like 20 minutes ago. I wish people would read or listen to my words on the border wall. This was no way was a concession. It was taking care of millions of people who were getting hurt badly by the shutdown. In 21 days, if no deal is done, it's off to the races. It's off to the races? How do you end like it's off to the races? What races? Is that the races to shut down?
To the smart wall? Isn't it the smart wall?
So what do you think? We just had people calling and said, we should be proactive here. And the idea of we have 21 days that this is going to be funded. So after that, 800,000 American workers and 1 to 4 million federal contractors might be out of work again. What can we do in advance in terms of solidarity that workers say we're all going to walk out if you do this again?
But here's the worst part. 21 days is literally enough for them to get one additional.
Their back pay and their paycheck.
Their back pay and one, not two, one additional paycheck.
Yeah, so they can't even, there's no savings.
No, you're not making for your save. No.
And I mean, also, they're already fucked because of using their credit cards and the debt that is incurred.
Oh, absolutely.
And federal contractors get no back pay. So you've got 1 million to 4 million people. I keep reading.
And they're the most impoverished of the people who are not getting paid.
Yep.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see. Before we talk Roger Stone, one of the most interesting parts or funniest moments of the shutdown was the fight between Cardi B and Tomi Lahren and if you don't know Tomi Lahren, you're lucky, but she's the Fox News younger version of Ann Coulter, and she might be her daughter, I'm not sure. And here, what I love is Tomi Lahren actually because what happened, Cardi B, we played a little bit of it, who's a rapper, slammed Trump, and then Tomi Lahren said some stupid thing, and Cardi B destroyed her on Twitter. But what I love here is Tomi Lahren is on Fox News and actually says the exact thing that Cardi B said to her and has to say it. So I love the fact she's reading the tweet out loud. It's sort of like Jimmy Kimmel reading it. So let's hear, please, clip number 5.
Trump is now ordering, as in summoning, federal government workers to go back to work without getting paid. Like, our country is in a hellhole right now. All for wall.
All right, that is rapper Cardi B not holding back on her thoughts on the government shutdown. Then came a huge fight on Twitter between Cardi B, screen left, and on the right, our next guest, Tomi Lahren. Tomi joins us right now from the West Coast. Tomi, what happened?
Well, to put it pretty simply, I saw that video that she had posted, and,
right.
I implied that maybe Cardi B isn't the person we should be taking our political advice from. It took her a few days, but she responded, and instead of arguing about the merits of her political argument, she said that she was going to dog walk me.
I love the fact she was going to dog walk me and Steve. So it was funny to hear Steve Doocy or Douchey, whatever his name is, from Fox and White Friends saying like, I call it Fox and White Friends because it is Fox and White Friends.
I don't think there are any.
No, they don't. No. So
People
him saying that was
Really?
rapper, and that was rapper Cardi B.
That was rapper Cardi B.
With everything. So, what did you make of Cardi B's? First of all, what did you make of the video where it goes on and on, but she's like, and I'm worried. It was very graphically worried. She's truly worried, Cardi B. She actually made a video. She cared. So, Michelle, what did you think of the Cardi B video?
I love Cardi B. I love the woman. I love her spunk. I love that this 26-year-old who started as a stripper, who dropped out of school, was like, you know what? I'm going to rise above this. And she embraced the fact that she was a stripper and doesn't let anybody shit on her about it. And then she comes to the table with talent,
right?
Which is refreshing. And then she's not just talented, she's paying attention to what's going on in this world because she came from nothing. She did it like she left the schools. She became a stripper, I think, because of like I'm not gonna tell her life story because I don't know. But she fucking dug down and she did it.
Right.
And so now she's coming out and she's like, well, these are my people. Like, I was very poor. I know what this is like. And now I'm not going to allow them to struggle by themselves. I'm going to speak up for them. And I admire the fuck out of that woman. Tammy, on the other hand, Tommy, whatever. She can go fuck herself.
Okay. Well put.
I'm so tired of the Fox world allowing this to go on without having a moment and saying, you're creating this. Like, why can't you see how much damage you're doing to this world? So for Cardi to to call out our dear Lord and Savior President Trump, I'm in it.
What? But so
what was your fucking question?
I can't. No, you did a good job there. You did a great job. And look, Roger Stone. We'll talk about next. He's on now with Tucker.
He's adorable.
Tucker Carlson, who I call Tucker Klansman, on Fox News. I have a lot of race issues that you might not. Angelique, what do you think of Cardi B first before we get into her reaction? Are you a Cardi B fan?
I do listen to Z Cardi B.
Okay.
I do love me some good Cardi B music. Here's my thing. She's not a political person,
right?
But she is an American citizen, and she has every right under her First Amendment right to be concerned, and she makes a valid point. And I think one of the problems here is that suddenly people have to have a political science degree to identify that something is wrong. Just like for some reason you have to go to an Ivy League to be on the Supreme Court. And I think none of those things were ever a prerequisite to having freedom of speech. Now, freedom of speech comes with consequences. I totally get it. But Cardi B is actually making a valid statement. And as many times I like to say it, show me the lie in what Cardi B said. Right, and then we can have a conversation, because you're trying to have, well, I need political basis. No, you don't. There wasn't a lie. You have a president who is refusing to move forward on a budget. The government is shut down. It is hurting everyday Americans. And if people don't understand the history of there being such a large swath of people in the federal government and the fact that it was supposed to be there to help raise a better middle class, then you realize that the people that are in most need right now is the middle class that continues to slip back, particularly people of color. And so when you look at the idea that this was set there for people to have an opportunity for advancement, you know what? If you're not in that class, don't come speaking about it and what the impact is for a community. Both my parents worked for the state of Louisiana as I grew up, and that gave us an opportunity to advance forward. My sister works for the federal government. So for folks to come at me, I'm like, well, this is the livelihood of my family. Right. I get to be concerned. You can't take that away from me just because for some reason you've identified me as not the right spokesperson. What if I think you're not the right spokesperson?
So let me ask you this: so Cardi B responded to Tommy saying, "I'll dog walk you." What does dog walk mean? What do you think? Is it just?
Look,
I just thought it was a great term. It was a vivid metaphor, but I'm like, what is it exactly?
Vivid. I mean, I'm not gonna confirm or deny what dog walks means, but don't bring a knife to a gunfight, and that's all I gotta say for time. Like, don't come after
Michelle and
Cardi B
dog walk
on Twitter. That's just not what
I'm not gonna do that ever. But is dog walk a phrase I should understand? I just love I'm like, bang. I don't even know what that is, but I love it. I'm like, I'm gonna dog walk you, and she's got on a leash. I get it, but is it an expression I should know, or is it just?
I had to Google it.
So it actually means something. So I have to look this up. I didn't even know. Damn.
Urban Dictionary is your best friend, Dean.
Yeah, I Googled it, and then I was like, I don't understand this.
All I know is that Tommy Lahren was like, I don't like. She's like, I implied that maybe her point wasn't good, and instead of engaging me on policy discussion, she slammed me and destroyed me on Twitter for everyone to laugh at me.
Man, that's like getting into a boxing ring with Muhammad Ali and being like, I tried to argue that we shouldn't be fighting, and then next thing you know, you end up on the ground. Like,
which you deserve. So, all right, let's take a break. We'll come back. We'll talk about the other big story of the day, which was Roger Stone. We'll play a clip of him. He was on Mark Thompson's show like a year ago. This is true, Roger Stone. We'll play the clip when we come back right here on the Dean Obeidallah Show.
The Dean Obeidallah Show.
Whoever's the next president, we should call them the 45th president of the United States. And this will go down as a dark time in America that we'll never refer to again.
SiriusXM Progress. Your entire week's exhausting news broken down in one hilarious hour. What Just Happened is now live with Dean Obeidallah.
And welcome back, live on the Dean Obeidallah Show. What just happened? Our weekly segment joined by Angelique, Roche, and Michele with a difficult last name, who is a producer on the Jenny McCarthy Show. By the way, Lou Dobbs just said about Trump, he got rolled on this by Nancy Pelosi. When Trump loses Lou Dobbs.
Come on, man.
But he was racist. He was racist before it was cool to be racist.
But this is the problem.
Remember, he was on CNN, he was racist, and even said, like, this is crazy. Remember, he was horribly racist against Mexicans. I'm not kidding.
But this is the problem, Dean. Like, right now, there's some kid out there. See, when you look at a kid and you look at a little boy who does something crazy at school against another girl because he got turned down for prom, this is the same behavior. This is a football locker room thing that is happening right now where these guys are like, oh, you conceded to a woman. Oh, you're weak. That is exactly what's happening, because if it wasn't Pelosi, it would be a different conversation.
Seriously?
I don't think it would be as harsh. I think he'd still be getting criticized.
Did she dog walk him?
Please Google that.
Please. I don't know if I want to confirm nor deny.
You know that red ball thing in the mouth?
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of that.
Really?
Oh.
I'll have to read about this.
All right. Oh my.
That's what I thought of.
Oh my.
So, all right, let's go to Roger Stone here and talk about what's going on there. Let's play a clip, Lauren. Here's Roger Stone on Mark Thompson's show from 2017. It's a real clip number 1.
Put up or shut up. Where is the proof? We have emails.
Honestly, I don't have it, but it's out there, Roger. I'm just trying to give you every opportunity. If you want to acquit yourself, fine. But I'm a little concerned. You're saying this, and then next week we might hear some doggone phone calls of you, man. I'm just like, I'm not going to. You telling me I'm not going to hear that? There's nothing that's going to come back.
Nothing whatsoever. You know what? If they have any proof whatsoever, indict me.
And they did.
Well, he asked for it.
He asked for it, and they indicted
I feel like watch what you asked for. Yeah. Watch what you asked for, ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes
Michele
your wishes come true.
You're giddy. Michele's actually giddy. There's a right term.
He asked for it, and he got what he wanted. It's like Christmas for him.
Oh, you're right. It's like Santa would have said to him, like, what do you want? I want an indictment. And then Santa delivered
it. I mean, it took a little time. He had to get it from the North Pole. But here it is for that guy with that fun Nixon tattoo on his back.
Which he showed today. They had pictures of it today. He was bragging.
I'm sorry, what?
Yes.
Roger Stone has a tattoo of Richard Nixon. I'm not kidding.
Okay, there are a lot of presidents in the world that I may consider.
Who would you have? If you had a tattoo on your back of one president, is there one?
JFK.
JFK, not Barack?
I mean, look, I love Barack, but I really feel like Michelle Obama might come after me if I randomly had a Barack Obama tattoo on me. I'm just saying, that's like a tattoo you can never get a picture of because there's just a lot of conflict that's going to happen.
Why do you think I'm reading Becoming? It's a great book. Michelle.
I mean, there is a respect between a man and a wife, and you don't go get that man's face tattooed on you. You just don't. I think there's a code.
But if he's cheated, it's fine.
So that's right. So JFK, it doesn't matter because he cheated, and then you.
I was just saying JFK got assassinated.
You know what I would do?
Like I'm gonna shut up.
Michelle's gonna share.
I'm gonna go because
save me.
I'm gonna put a house on my body for Carter.
A house? Oh, a building habitat of humanity.
No, that is the thing that Carter gave us. Also, it might be a good luck charm because clearly Carter can't die.
No, please, no.
Don't just ruin. Oh my God!
Where's the fucking wood?
So who do you think will be indicted next in this circus known as the Trump administration? Because now we've got Michael Flynn, Michael Cohen, George Papadopoulos, Paul Manafort, Rick Gates, another guy who's like tangentially related, and of course Roger Stone, a 30+ year buddy of Donald Trump.
30+ years.
These are Trump's best people. So who's next?
Well, he hires the best people,
of course, and he puts them in prison. That's what he does.
I'm really glad there's video so I don't have to say what the look on my face means.
Who do you think's getting indicted next? Come on. You got to pick a name.
But does it matter?
It does if it's the right person. There's prizes involved in this.
Wait, really?
Yes, there are big prizes.
He said prizes. I'm very excited.
More than one.
Wait, is the prize impeachment?
No, the prize, we don't know. I can't tell you when the answer is going to be, but I'm going to tell you at some point. If you get it right, you come back. We'll give you pistachios, pretzel crisps, the mini ones, of course. We can't afford the full-size one. And these are the snacks we have for our guests on the Friday 8 o'clock show. Come on, give me anybody. You can, Ivanka.
I want Jared.
Jared. Do you think that's interesting out of the box?
I actually think Jared is the one that is more. You know how people have most likely. I'm just gonna do a lot of high school analogies today. I'm sorry. Most likely to be have a felony like in a high school.
Jared Kushner.
Most likely to have raped. Yes. I mean, I'm not wrong. Allegedly.
I never said you were.
So I'm going to go with Donald Trump Jr. I really think he's...
You think so?
I think he's involved in all this because he actually had communications with WikiLeaks as well in October of 2016. It's all confirmed now. The Trump Tower meeting. This little slimy ball, Donald Trump Jr., who just wanted his dad to love him. Maybe if Donald had hugged him once, he wouldn't be like this.
Donald's dad loved him, we wouldn't be here. But we're here. I think
or if he didn't come
this
to
is
his
why
grandfather didn't
the
come to
only
America.
reason I think you're wrong. I think
this is my show, Michelle.
She only had
this
one
is not
reason.
The Jenny McCarthy
though.
show. You can't disagree with me. Don't you understand?
I don't disagree with anybody.
Go to the
I'm
corner.
saying.
Go ahead.
When's the last time I agreed with you, Dean?
Never. No, go ahead, Michelle. Please tell me.
So I think that our Mueller, who is Mueller?
Right,
Mueller.
Ferris Mueller.
I think that he is doing this thing where he's like tightening it and tightening it and tightening it. So he's not going to put Don next.
Not next.
He's going to go with Jared.
Right. If you do Don next, that's an act of war. You indict Trump's son, he goes crazy like you've never seen.
Do you feel like this is like wild horses out in the prairie and he's slowly but surely putting the corrals around him?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Like in every mafia movie, like the guy's on the top of the mafia flowchart and they're building the case around them.
Oh man, this
circle
is
sort
straight
of thing, like right in the middle of
which
the bullseye.
makes perfect sense. I mean, that's FBI like 101, right?
Well, I'm not an FBI agent, but yes, I'm going to go with you on that one. All right, cool, let's take a break. We're going to play our favorite game. Guess Who Said It? We're also going to talk about, is a MAGA hat at this point a symbol of hate?
I don't want
no answers. Don't hold it.
I didn't say
no
anything.
Jump, no knee-jerk stuff. We're going to come back with more of what just happened right here on the Dean Obeidallah Show.
The Dean Obeidallah Show.
Voting is the most important civil right of our era because the right to vote preserves all other rights. It's not the Second Amendment. It's not guns. It's voting.
SiriusXM Progress. Your entire week's exhausted news broken down into one hilarious hour. What Just Happened is now live with Dean Obeidallah.
And welcome back to the Obeidallah Show. We're live Friday, January 25th, and it's What Just Happened, our weekly segment every Friday in the third hour. But folks, first thing, you get home from work, long day, you're hungry, and you're like, what am I going to cook? What am I going to eat? And you start cooking, you're missing an ingredient. Well, that all what is that noise?
I was watching us.
What is that?
that was
my commercial. You ruined a commercial for HelloFresh, the number one meal kit in America.
It's a really great meal kit. It's one of my favorites.
Seriously?
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. I've used it myself. I think it's really good. Now, Angelique, you're going to have to endorse HelloFresh. I'm sorry. This is how it works right now because you destroyed the commercial.
You should all go online, particularly to.
Do not bring up. Don't badmouth my sponsor.
I was about to say, what was the website?
HelloFresh.com.
Yep. And you should go there and you should try it out because I am a New Yorker and it's very hard to eat fresh food that is healthy for you that goes on to dietary requirements, in which I have a lot. And I think HelloFresh is a great option, particularly for New Yorkers who don't have cars and can't necessarily, carry home lots of stuff from the store.
Can we get a discount with HelloFresh.com?
Yes, you can. Excellent question, Michelle, with the difficult last name. You can by going to HelloFresh.com, save $80 off your first order. That's $20 off the first 4 boxes. If you go to HelloFresh.com/Dean and get this, enter promo code Dean80, as in the amount of money you're saving. Dean80.
$80.
$80.
Oh my God.
If I
4
could go higher,
boxes?
That's a deal.
If I could go higher, I would. I don't have that authority, folks. I would give you free food every night.
Come on, try.
It could be like, okay, if you go to promo code Dean, give me it to me free. How about Dean free?
Don't
try
do
that.
It's Dean80.
Not.
It's Dean80.
It's Dean80.
Again, HelloFresh.com. Check out all the food from vegetarian to steak, chicken, fish, you name it. It comes in a box. Everything is there, and you're gonna love it. It's simple and tasty.
I think that was the best commercial you ever did.
Right. If I could give out, I have some great sponsors. If I give out a free Quip toothbrush every night and free food, HelloFresh, and what else I got? A bunch of other stuff. That if I give all free products to everyone just for listening, I would do that, but they won't let me. It's sort of ruins a business model, I've heard.
Capitalism doesn't really work.
You can't, give things
that
away.
way.
All right, let's play. It's time for our game. You ready, Lauren?
A game?
Yes.
Now, it's time for America's newest game show sensation.
Guess who's done it?
Hey, welcome to the America's Greatest Game Show Sensation, which you use promo code Dean80 and save $80 off. I'm here with Angelique Roche and Michele Laikowski. How was that? Bango! I got it. She's a producer on J.D. McCarthy. Angelique Roche is our buddy. She hosts on Marvel Voices and hosts Geeks Playing on Sci-Fi. Here, I'm going to give you some quotes. I will give you 4 guesses. One of the 4 is the right answer. I will tell you that at the top.
Oh, good. So
now, there are no prizes, but I feel better about myself the more you get wrong. So just keep that in mind. So when you get them right, I'm kind of dying inside. When you get them wrong, I feel better about myself. Why? I don't know. This is the life I live.
So the prize is that we can make you feel good or bad.
Right.
That's
really.
That sounds like a lot of my relationships.
Well,
I went to Catholic school, so this is pretty.
Here we go. Stop it. Hang on. Your first one, you're going to get wrong. Here we go. Regarding Rudy Giuliani,
Giuliani.
No, you can't. It's about him. He's mentally unstable. You can see in his face, much less in his words. Did Michael Cohen say that? Lanny Davis, Stormy Daniels, or me, Dean Obeidallah?
I think it's Dean Obeidallah.
I could have, but it's not.
It was possible.
Would you please repeat the?
Sure. The password is, he's mentally unstable. You can see in his face, much less in his words. Michael Cohen, Lanny Davis, Stormy Daniels, or I, Dean Obeidallah.
What was the second one?
Lanny Davis. He's an attorney for Michael Cohen.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to go with him.
You're right.
You know
you guessed me, but it's probably right, too, because I would have said that. No doubt.
Really
Do you feel good about yourself?
No, that was not the way I want to work this out.
I do feel bad about myself, and it's pretty much how Catholic school went.
Here we go. Look, I get
Just don't masturbate. You're fine.
Stop. Here we go. Look, I get in trouble. I read in the New York Times today that one of my problems is if I were to run for president, I like Republicans. Okay, well, bless me, Father, for I have sinned. So speaking of Catholicism, there you go. Was that Kamala Harris, Elizabeth Warren, Rishon Ojeda, or Joe Biden? Look, I get in trouble. I read in the New York Times today that one of my problems if I run for president is I like Republicans. Okay, well, bless me, Father, for I have sinned. Kamala Harris, Elizabeth Warren, Richard Ojeda, or Jenny McCarthy. Or Joe Biden, sorry.
What was the third one?
Third one is Richard Ojeda. He's a Democrat running for president. You guys are you're like showing your work here on your face.
It was Biden.
You're very good. Where do you live? This was an easy one. This is like just to make you.
Are you judging me right now?
I'm not judging
you.
You
know what? I'm going to sit here and ask you about comic books after the show.
Because it was him and Beto. They both were going after them both for being okay with Republicans.
Biden specifically, because he took $200,000 to give a speech to like a Republican-leaning group. I'm like, have you not met Hillary Clinton? Have you not seen what happened in 2016?
Does anyone really?
All right, let's continue.
We shouldn't go back to that dark place.
Nancy Pelosi is America's first fascist, and that's a fact. That's not close to being a fact, but that's what Nancy Pelosi is America's first fascist. Was it said Donald Trump Jr., Don Benigno, an idiot from Fox News, Mark Levin, or Sean Hannity? Nancy Pelosi, America's first fascist, and that's a fact. And these are all from this week, not from a time machine.
Wow.
That's hard because all of them could have said that.
That's why we do that. It's like a usual suspect.
I want to say Hannity because I just feel like he's always going to be that guy that says that thing. Because he's that guy that says that thing. But I'm batting 0 for 2 right now. So I feel like we should just team up.
All right. I'm going with Trump.
Wrong. There you go. I feel better.
You should have gone with Hannity.
It was actually Mark Levin. Who said he said yesterday in his show, I'm not kidding, in 1 hour 18 times, I'm not even kidding, in 1 hour 18 times he called Nancy Pelosi a fascist. And then Mediaite, the publication, called him out, and then he attacked Mediaite because they called him out during his show with Tommy Christopher, I know, wrote an article. And then he goes attacks Tommy Christopher because on Mediaite, with media people read all the time, I do too. Mark, during his commercial break, saw they had slammed him. Then he goes and slams Mediaite during his own show, like in real time, like back and forth.
You can't get that kind of press.
It's one of those moments where you're like, you keep saying that word, but I don't think it means what you think it means.
You kill my father now, but it's better to die.
My name is Inigo Montoya.
Okay, here we go. Last one. On the cancellation of the State of the Union. This is a new low for American politics. It's absurd, petty, and shameful. The judgment of history will not be kind. A, Joe Biden. B, Lindsey Graham. C, Chuck Schumer. D, a really crappy actor in Summerstock. So who said it with that kind of...
Can you repeat it again?
In that kind of...
Because I would like to just hear you
this
do that.
This is a new low for American politics. And absurd, petty, and shameful. The judgment of history will not be kind. I said good day, sir. I said good day, sir. So what was that? Joe Biden, Lindsey Graham, Chuck Schumer, or throw Joe W. Bush in there.
Lindsey.
I think it's Lindsey.
You're right, Lindsey.
Good old Lindsey.
Did he hate? When did he become his best friend?
Lindsey
but
Graham.
Also, can we have a conversation about the fact that none of our senators clearly have taken American history classes? Because I am very worried about their declarative sentences about things never happening in American history. I'm just
like last week.
I don't know.
Maybe it's early set on dementia.
You had a movie line before. Good day. I said good day, sir. What movie is that from? I know it's a tough one. But it's a funny moment in a famous...
Good day, sir. Oh, man.
Dustin Hoffman. Tootsie.
Yeah. It's a great movie.
Do you remember Tootsie?
Oh, do I remember Tootsie? I used to act it out in my home.
Seriously?
No.
What character did you play?
It's like me in the birdcage.
All right, let's talk about something. Let's talk, before we took that MAGA hat, this thing didn't get the press it deserved, but it had to do with the MAGA hat kids from Covington Catholic High School. They were on TV in their little ties and shirts, and they were on with Fox News. And Fox News did almost accidental reporting. Steve Ducey from Fox and White Friends said to them, we found a video from 5 years ago when people were in blackface at your school. So let's hear clip number 6. They explain it away.
5 years ago, there was a pep rally where one of the members of the school body had appeared to have blackface on. People have even asked you to explain that. How do you explain that?
I just explained it as showing our school spirit. We have many themes like nerd, business, white out, blue out, black out, as you've seen in the video. Ever since I've gone to Cov Cath, we haven't been able to wear black paint because of the video, but I know the kids meant nothing by it. It's showing school spirit.
So they have blackout, which I can't imagine.
Why don't they just turn out the lights?
Look, this is not 1950. It's 5 years ago. No adult goes, you can't do blackface. And in the picture, it wasn't just one student. It was several taunting a black athlete from another team there. And the kid's like, well, we haven't not been able to do it since then. Like, he's like, we were robbed of the promise of Covington Catholic. You could do black, right? Well, we could do blackface.
But because of the video coming out is why they can't do it anymore.
It's not because the parents told them to stop.
Like, this is why I went to Covington Catholic, the blackout.
Hello?
And they deprived me of that, and now I have to do English.
My parents still have to pay for this shit?
So, what's your reaction? Angelique, when you hear about these young kids who long for the days of being able to do blackface, like a long time ago, like 5 years ago,
a whole
in 2014, they were doing it, and they can't do it anymore because they got pushback because someone dared to videotape it. What's your reaction? They defend it like it's like a normal pep rally. It's our school spirit. We put on blackface and we're white kids taunting black kids. Am I missing something?
I have the world's smallest violin for the racist, misogynistic craziness that's coming out of your mouth. But I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not surprised at all. I went to a high school where there was a group of kids that wore black shirts intentionally on MLK, at an MLK memorial for that reason, where the entire school was asked to wear white.
Wow.
But my school, they suspended them. We thought they should have been expelled. That's just a personal thing. But the reason why they weren't expelled is because of money. And that's what these kids are dealing with. And they this goes back to the conversation from the beginning, man. No, 2 tears in the bucket. Fuck it. You can't dress as in blackface because it is offensive to people. You're going to say the same thing when you put a swastika on your shirt? Oh, we couldn't wear that shirt anymore because someone took a picture of it. No, you can't wear that shirt anymore because it's racist and offensive and it makes other people feel less than who you go to school with, because people are humans.
Michelle, counterpoint.
I don't think there is a counterpoint.
I'm kidding. There's no counterpoint.
Oh, fucks.
Can you believe that? And then, so you have these high school students. Yesterday, the Secretary of State of Florida, Michael Ertel, who was just recently appointed. Ertel, who was just appointed by.
Ertel.
Who was appointed by Ron DeSantis, a man who said about his black opponent, Andrew Gillum, don't monkey it up. Well, he appointed Michael Ertel, and it turned out yesterday they learned that Michael Ertel, 14 years ago, put blackface on after Hurricane Katrina and posed as a black victim dressed like a woman. In blackface, he was 35. He wasn't 10. He resigned. Once the video came in, he just resigned. Like, he didn't even pretend.
Have you ever, been sitting down in a chair and you just want to throw something because it's so ridiculous?
Well, I mean, what's wrong with white people to think that you can do blackface? I mean, he was 35. Yes, it's 14 years ago, but even then it was clearly wrong. We're talking about the mid-2000s.
But here's
what goes on with white people?
The problem is America keeps going, and they keep asking this question, why would you think that's racist? And I come back with a counter question that goes, why do you think they care?
Why do we think they care when we call them out?
Why do you think those people care that what they are doing is racist? It doesn't affect them. It doesn't affect them till it takes the one thing they want away from them, and that's power. And now that he's lost power, he's sad, and he's going to try to change, and he's going to apologize.
For something else in a few years.
10 years from now, he's going to run for senator.
Florida.
Right. And the problem is, at the end of the day, people for some reason think, and I remember sitting in a car right after Barack Obama got elected, and it was with a Canadian of color, and he's like, well, Barack Obama got elected president. Racism isn't a bad thing anymore. Okay, cool.
It's not all.
Awesome. And we were in West Virginia at the time. I was like, yeah, you need to give me the keys to the car. Cool.
Michelle, so you're in whiteface now. So what is your reaction to this whole thing?
Right now. Right. But when I get home, cannot wait to get that so
Angelique is African American, black, as you know. Michelle is white. And Michelle, when you hear, at what point did you actually become aware, if you can remember, where blackface is wrong? Because it's not something people might not know. They're growing up, whatever. They're growing up. Was there ever an incident when you were growing up, like someone did that? I mean, you told me you worked you grew up near Native American
reservation
because your family worked for federal government.
My mom worked for my father was a Trump supporter. My mother's a born again Christian who is now a Trump supporter. So this is what I grew up with. And yeah, go ahead. I'm so sorry. I am so sorry.
It's all right. All my aunts voted for Trump. It's fine. We all have family.
What?
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
Okay.
No one in my family voted for Trump because we're Muslims and we love America.
Thank you.
There we go.
Sorry, I appreciate you
Thanks
and
for
all
trying.
of your family
Michelle.
for working so hard.
Look, all right. So Michelle,
so the minute I discovered that this was wrong, I don't know, when I moved to New York City, but when I discovered that not loving people for who they are was wrong, it was at 5 because I started theater.
Oh.
That was the trajectory. That changed my whole world. Because if I had stayed on the same path and became a nurse like my mom or a racist like my dad, I don't know, whatever he did.
Those were the two paths that were open to you.
He was an amazing veteran who, you know, served for 25 years and had a lot of great qualities, but overriding, like, he was a racist. And the N-word was dropped throughout my childhood. So it's not like, did I know that was wrong? Yes. Did I know that...
Even as a kid?
Yeah. But knowing, you know, living on Indian reservations, indigenous, because I grew up with it, it's different now. I knew that we shouldn't be going around going, oh, because that's not right.
Right.
But I knew it because I lived there.
Right.
But if you don't live there, I lived in Chinook, Montana for a very long time. I didn't know.
What tribe was up there? Do you know?
I can't remember off the top.
No, but it's interesting when you say, like, your father used the N-word all the time. And if you grew up with a parent who you love using that, you might not think it's wrong. And that's why I was wondering, like, at what point did you actually go, Dad, what you're saying, even if you didn't say it, like, you were aware that, well, my dad's been saying, and I love him. He's been saying this, luckily, and I didn't know when I was a child it was wrong. And at some point you do become aware that this is wrong.
Yeah, I mean, the racism was so... He's from South Carolina. It was just who he was, and it was like an excuse I always made for him. But I knew it wasn't me. It wasn't inside of me, because theater for kids, I highly recommend it. If you could get your kid in something that makes them see the world through a different lens, do it. Yeah. But that's why I don't think I turned out the way I could have, possibly. I mean, I'm still awful. Don't worry, my kids hate me. But we have them calling in now, actually, to talk to your mom. Holden, just get off the fucking but I would say Holden? New York City. Yeah, Holden and Atticus.
Wow.
I've Atticus read 2 books.
That's apparently,
wow. You named your child Atticus. I think you've made your point.
Well, that's a great name.
Holden,
rest. I'm not as... whatever, it's a nice name, but Atticus is something special.
Not my dad. My husband, rather. Ooh, got sexy here for a second. I'm sorry.
Well, that was a Freudian
My
slip.
sister's a psychologist. We bring her into the conversation now to talk to you about homes.
You should hear him drop the N-word.
Oh, no.
No, he's not. He's not that bad. He's great. He doesn't hit me.
Oh, my God. That's it. We're over. We just got canceled.
Let's go.
Maybe, young lady, maybe on the Jenny McCarthy show you can joke like that, but not here on Progress. It's not allowed.
I'm so sorry. No progress allowed.
We have Cardi B calling in now. All right, let's take a break. I really want to talk about MAGA hats. Okay, we have 2 minutes. It's going to be weird. We'll talk about it for 2 minutes. I honestly now, I'm not kidding. I'm not being hyperbolic. I view a MAGA hat as a symbol of hate. I don't view every Trump supporter as a bigot or a racist. I really don't. Some might disagree. But if you're wearing that hat in public, that's a statement that I'm down with Trump. I'm down with his racism, his bigotry, and his sexism. That's how I view it. You guys discuss. Angelique, yes or no? What do you think? Can it be still politics, or is it a symbol of hate?
I think in a world where I have a friend who personally got chastised and death threats for wearing a t-shirt that says Caucasian on it and making fun of the Redskins, that if that's going to elicit that kind of behavior out of people who identify as a Caucasian in a way, I think if anything, it represents issues that are very triggering, that are very oppressive, and that are affecting people of color in a disproportionate way. And I think people have turned it into a symbol for white nationalism. And it needs to be very clear that it is white nationalism. And if that is why you are wearing that hat, and those are the reasons why you believe in wearing that hat, then yeah, because you're a racist and you're wearing the hat.
Right. Doesn't say to me lower taxes, that hat. I see that hat. It's very clear. It doesn't mean I want smaller government, so I'm wearing a MAGA hat.
That's actually not.
We have 1 minute, Michelle, before I have to go to break. What do you think? What do you view the MAGA hat?
It's the whole Make America Great Again. When was America great for them? In the 50s or the 40s or the 20s or the 1800s. I don't know when it was great for white people that they believe it's done. But it's about white people wanting America to be great again. And they're losing sight of what actually makes America great. And I do believe that they are racist fucks.
Oh, all the Trump supporters? Or
the red hats.
If you're wearing the red hat type of thing. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back with the last minute here of the Dean Obeidallah Show. Sirius XM Progress 127.
Dean Obeidallah Show on Sirius XM Progress 127.
listening to What Just Happened with everyone's favorite host, Dino Bidala.
And welcome back to Dino Bidala Show, hosted by everyone's favorite host that was made by my mom. So, my friends, I'm here with Angelique and Michele. My friends, we are winding down. Where can if people want to follow you, get to know you more, where can they go on social media or your address, whatever you'd like to share with them?
I live in at Mo Laikowski on the Twitters and the Instas. And you can listen to my podcast called Never Tell Your Stories on the places where you listen to the podcasts.
And you're also every day on Jenny McCarthy's show on Stars Channel.
I should say that, too.
What time is that?
It's 10 to noon.
10 to noon. All right. So it doesn't
day.
interfere with my show. That's fine.
No.
Okay. And Angelique?
You can find me on the Twitters at Angelique Roche, and you can find me on the Instas at _GELIQUE.
And I am at Dino Bidala on Twitter and Facebook.com/Dean of Radio. Drop me an email over the weekend. Always looking for new ideas, comments, criticism, whatever. Dean at deanofradio.com. Angelique, Michele, thanks very much. Matt and Lauren, you guys, this was your best week ever. Really. Great stuff there. Now, Matt is no, he's pointing at Lauren. It's not. Okay, they're fighting it out now, and they're both fired. All right, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. Look forward to chatting with everyone. Have a great weekend.